G'day and welcome to another Ignition Off-Road episode. So recently I did the trip down to Sydney, not just to go to Subie Nats, but also to go to the SubaXtreme shop where they fitted my Forester with a really cool rear bar. You'll see more of that in a different video. But I managed to sit down with Jono from SubaXtreme and asked him a few questions about the business. This one's more of a podcasty style video where it's mostly Jono talking, so make yourself comfortable, get yourself a beverage and have a listen to what Jono has to say about SubaXtreme. I hope you enjoy this, and without further ado, let's get into it.
Yeah, my name's Jono Poole. Me and my dad Kev own SubaXtreme. Kev's a well-qualified engineer and has been working in the industry for the last 40 years. And then I am a social media and marketing developer, I guess, and website developer as well. So SubaXtreme started back in, it was 1989, I believe. They started doing Brumby bars and bars for the Leones and stuff. And then they slowly started to build up. That was up in Queensland. And then the business itself got moved from Queensland to New South Wales about 15 years ago, 12 or 15 years ago, to Goulburn by another group of owners. And they built the business up. It was very good, and they were plodding along. They had a good thing going, and then about 2.5 years ago, me and my dad Kev, we bought the business, and Kev's got like over 40 years of engineering experience with Fords and Holdens and all other makes and models. So he saw it as a good niche market to get into, and a wonderful community to be able to help grow and support and stuff, which is what we like to do. Support the community, support like local people, which is cool. Yeah. But yeah, we've been running it for about 2.5 years, trying to improve and expand the product range and get bigger and better, basically. So yeah. We've had a lot of interest for the recovery points, and a few people have bought the recovery points, but we've only sold 10 to 15 bull bars altogether, to the US. Yeah. So, but it works well. People appreciate the craftsmanship and stuff, because in the US they don't have any regulations or ADR approval or anything like that. So we actually have ADR approval and airbag compliancy and everything. So they're like, oh wow, it actually is a good bar. Yeah. It's just the shipping is just horrendous. So we're attempting to go to the SEMA show in Las Vegas in November, which is like one of the biggest car shows in the world. We're going to try and get a stand there and show a car there, and then we're attempting to get almost like a freight forwarder or someone in the US that we can make their bars and they'll make our bars for the US market kind of thing under license. But we want to make sure that they are good craftsmen, not just like oh yeah, we'll do that for you, no problem, and make the profit, and then the product itself, the quality goes down. Yeah. So yeah, that's what our main thing is. We're very proud of the quality that we put out, and if we find a bar that doesn't have, it has little pinholes in the welds, or the powder coating is not quite right, we'll delay the order by 2 or 3 days to get it repowder coated, just to make sure that we set out a good product, which is what we like to do. Yeah. So the main things that we're providing to the market is our bull bars. That's our main mover, and our Sump Guards. I think people, because they know that the Subaru is a good quality car, they want to protect them and make them last. So they want to invest into Sump Guards to protect the underbody, and bull bars as well. The newer vehicles have been getting a lot of nudge bars, which is quite cool. We've been developing our nudge bars, putting on UHF aerial tabs and extras like that, which is cool. and the lift kits have been moving as well, which is quite cool. Putting in lift kits in all of the cars. We're trying to become a full service workshop, so we can install all of the parts, put in lift kits, put on roof racks, and all of the little extras, put in our recovery points too. So, but yeah. New products, I guess. Yeah, we've got like the recovery points that we're trying to refine them because we had a bit of feedback about them hanging a little low. We're putting out like a Generation 2 version of the recovery points, and also trying to cover all of the models because we haven't got the SH Forester done, and we haven't gotten the really old Outbacks done yet. So we want to try and cover the whole range. We have got XVs done now, which is cool, and then we're trying to, with the rear bars, we've got like a new version of the rear bars coming out, as well as just a single tyre holder rather than a full rear bar, swing arms and everything. We've got a rear bar that'll slot into the tow hitch, and it'll just have one swing. And yeah, rather than having a jerry can and a tyre holder, we think that not everybody wants the full replacement bar and the rear bar, so this will work well and can be removed very easily, which is cool. And then we're doing roof racks as well. We're trying to kind of offer roof racks to people, and we can customize the roof racks a little bit as well to suit your vehicle and how you want it. Like my war wagon has like only a half-size roof rack and then a roof pod, which is that's something that I felt like it looked cool. But yeah, so we're trying to just help people however we can as well. And winches as well. Winches is another thing that we're trying to fill in because people want winches in their Subies. So we're trying to make sure that we cover all of the models with a winch cradle to make sure that they're not damaging their cars, because if you put a winch on a car unsafely, you'll end up damaging the car in the long run. So yeah, and we're doing like little sway bar links or little parts under the cars so we can fill the market. Like we can fill a gap where the market isn't providing quite well enough for the Subaru market, like especially off-road. We're trying to fill those little gaps. I think like the diff guards as well, and all of the new generations of diff guards, we're trying to make sure that they are covered in all generations, which is some of the like the turboed models of Foresters haven't always been covered by SubaXtreme in the past, so we're trying to make sure that the XT models and the all of the little niche Subarus are covered too. So yeah. Subaru Australia technically can't advertise SubaXtreme because they're meant to, all the dealerships and stuff are meant to say that the cars are perfect and they should never be added to. So they're not technically allowed, although some can steer us in the right direction and stuff, but they're not supposed to say. But Subaru Australia is starting to, like in America, they do the off-road packages for Subaru now. So Subaru Australia is looking at doing similar, and they want us to potentially do like the nudge bars and their Sump Guards and stuff. Yep. So if we can get that to work, then that'll be a really big influx and good advertising process for us. So yeah.
Basically trying to become the ARB of the four-drive industry.
Yeah, for the Subies kind of thing. Yeah, that's essentially it. Like the only other business in Australia that makes bull bars for Subarus is ECB, and their bull bars are the front mount. They don't actually do the bumper replacement. They do the front mount, and in my opinion, they don't look as good. Like they don't look quite as nice. Yeah. So I think we have like that niche of really good looking bars, as well as a lot of protection and well thought out bars. So having that spot and in the right time as well of everyone in Australia wants to go out and do their off-roading and their adventuring, and I think it's going to work out pretty well. So yeah, I think the Subi Nats popped up at the right time for us. So yeah. But yeah, I think Subaru Australia wants to try and do their little off-road packages as well, because they're very locked in. In the past, they've always had to, like, Subaru in Japan was like the overarching like boss. You can't do anything that Subaru Japan says is wrong. But now there's Subaru of America and Subaru of Australia, and then Subaru worldwide. So they've kind of been able to split off and start doing their own thing, which is quite cool. Yeah. So if we can be their bull bar supplier and their nudge bar supplier, then would be pretty cool. Yeah. And we've also started doing the package deals. I don't know if you saw them as well. So we've got 3 tiers of packages because a lot of people were coming in like for a nudge bar fitting or a sump guard fitting, and oh, you also do bull bars. Oh, you also do lift kits. So we're trying to offer packages that people can, if they're new to the market or new to the off-roading scene, they're able to, they can get the whole protection package all at once, so they know that they are protected when they go out bush or when they go onto the sand, and because all of the plastic guards can get ripped up so quickly when they're on the beach. So if people want to get all of it protected underneath, I think it's a good idea having the packages available. Yeah, dramatically, and like partly because of the industry, and then partly because the old owners. But like it went from like within 3 months we'd like tripled the sales of the old owners, or like from the previous months, we tripled the sales and have not looked back since. We had like the last lockdown, it dipped down a little bit, but it's the sump guards and the nudge bars are consistently going through, and then the bull bars are starting to come back again, and lots of people are getting into the market. And I think the Foresters, because of the Land Cruiser tax and the Toyota tax at the moment being, and like Land Cruisers being so expensive, people are finding these niche off-road vehicles and doing them up, and can spend more money on a niche vehicle than they can onto a Land Cruiser, which is going to cost you $150,000 to deck out with all of the gear. You can spend $20,000 to $30,000 and deck out a Forester with everything and make it just as capable, in my opinion, and go just as far and be just as comfortable. So I think it works pretty well. I love the Subies. So it's like they're just such a fun car to drive, and like they're just that perfect mix of like, not necessarily race car, but like perfect mix of like beautifully driven vehicle as well as really functional vehicle as well. And I just think they're such a cool car. I'm a big fan of them. And like I think like once you're a Subie person, you're always a Subie person kind of thing. Like my mum and dad, my whole life have always had Subarus. Like either mum or dad has had a Subaru. And ever since, like my first car was a Subaru, and then I bought the War Wagon, and I've had, all of my life I've had Subarus. I just think they're great cars. So I think, it's a cool market and a cool car to be able to support, and a great community. All the Subie people are very cool people, and they're all very genuine and happy to have a chat, and also happy to help where they can as well, which is good. Because like with the newer vehicles, we have to either organise with a dealership or with a customer to borrow their car for a few days to be able to measure the right mounting points and make the mounting bracket, and then make the bull bar to fit and everything. So it's quite cool. Like the last Forester and the last Outback we had both of them were customers that lent us their car for 4 days at a time. It's just so that we are able to make a bull bar for them that looks good and it fits and is mounted correctly and the airbag compliant and just ticks all the boxes. But it's cool to have customers that are willing to do that are actually willing to help the market, which is cool.
So
So is that how you do your R&D?
Yeah, so like we've got the Subaru dealer. Well, they're like a Holden Ford, like one of those dealerships. The Subaru dealership in town called Geisler's. They often will let us have the cars, but only like a few hours at a time, which is sometimes when we're making a bracket and we need to make two different, like left-hand and a right-hand side. We need to get it laser cut. Sometimes a few hours isn't really enough time. So what we'll do usually, our normal process for R&D is we borrow the car from them first, because usually they're one of the first people to get them off the ships. And we'll like take the skin of the car off, be like, okay, the mounting points are here and here, measure it up, do a initial drawing. We get the brackets laser cut with our supplier, who's about 5 minutes down the road from us. We weld them all up and make a first try, a prototype. That's the word I was looking for. make a prototype, and we'll either try to get the car back from the dealership. If not, then usually we try and line up a customer if we have a Forester that we can lend to them, and we just let them have the Forester for a few days, and then we'll borrow their car for 3 to 4 days, R&D on their car, make sure the bar fits right and works. And the thing with the newer Outbacks and the newer Foresters with the eyesight systems and all the cameras, it takes a little while to make sure that the cameras still work and we're not interfering with any of the safety systems, because if you interfere with any of the safety systems, then the car basically shuts down, like it won't work properly. So we need to make sure we test all of the systems, test all of the cameras, and then once that's all good, then we'll get the customer back and give them their car. So that's the general process, how we're doing it. Luckily, with the new Outback, that's actually owned by SubaXtreme. So we've been able to test and chuck stuff on, and that's our car. So we're able to have it all the time. We put the new Iron Man lift kit into it yesterday, and the ladder onto it for the show. So I think it'll be cool to be able to have almost a new test car. Yeah, it's fun to drive as well. So yeah, but there's heaps of safety systems on it, which is like there's got like a lane departure system. So if it starts to curve out, it'll turn you back in, and it'd be like look down and it goes beep 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 beep. Look at the road, and it's like, oh geez, okay man, just chill out. So yeah. But it's a cool car. It's very fun to drive and super comfortable. Like such a good highway cruising car. So yeah. But that one's actually my mum's car. Like we bought it for my mum because she had a Subaru beforehand that was it was about 6 years old. So we decided to get her a new one / new test car, and she's happy to have all of the bits and bobs on it too. So yeah, she's like a big outdoorsy person. So she likes golf and kayaking and stuff, so having the roof rack and everything on there will work well for her. So yeah.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode with SubaXtreme. I can't thank Jono and the guys at SubaXtreme enough for the work they've done on the Subie, and it was an absolute pleasure spending the few days I did with them, both at the shop and at Subie Nats. Thanks again for tuning in for this video, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.